Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Heavenly Parent Holy Community Oceania Hoon Dok Hae. Today is Tuesday, the 1st of June, the beginning of winter, and the 3rd of May in the 10th year of Chongyal Guk. So let's begin by offering a bow to our Heavenly Parent and True Parents, Chariot, Kyombe, Paro. And let's recite our family pledge, both in Korean and English. Thank you.
가족멘세 3. 전일국 주인, 우리 가족은 참사랑을 중심하고 4대 심정권과 3대 왕권과 환조권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Family pledge number 3. Our family, the owner of Chongyal Guk, pledges to perfect the 4 great realms of heart, the 3 great kingships, and the realm of the royal family by centering on true love. I'd like to ask Janine Helen if she could offer the opening prayer, please.
Okay, let us pray. Our loving Heavenly Parent, true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind, we come before you this morning with a grateful heart, grateful to you that you've loved us all through history, even though there must have been many times when that was even so excruciating and so difficult to do, but you continued to love us, Heavenly Parent. And because of your love, we can be in a position today to build your heavenly kingdom through our true parents. We pray, Heavenly Parent, for the world to come to you, come back home to you, Heavenly Parent, and to bring you joy and happiness as you originally created us to. I pray for the good things that are happening all over the world, and pray that quickly your kingdom can come. We offer this time now as we do Hoon Dok Hae, that you can speak to us and that we can understand more deeply how to live with you and to let you live through us. We offer this time now, and I pray in the name of Leif and Janine Helen and all our blessed central family names. Aju.
Aju. Thank you. Let's offer a warm welcome, as always, to Reverend Yutaka as he shares this morning. Thank you.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. Thank you for joining today's morning Hoon Dok Hae. Today is June 1st, the beginning of the new month. How was the last month? Did you have a good time? So, and also, did you prepare the new plan for June? So, beginning of the day, beginning of the week, beginning of the month, and the beginning of the year. So, the starting moment, we really need to reflect the past and prepare the future. This is really important day. So let's prepare well, and let's have a great time for our Heavenly Parents and True Parents. So now really Yamada is emphasizing to invite the new people and to share the truth about Heavenly Parents and True Parents. So how to witness our new members, brothers and sisters, even also our second gen, third gen, even the person who have a distance now. So how we can guide and connect them back again. This is really important things. So last weekend, we had the witnessing workshop in Australia. So centering on that lecture, we are now preparing to have the online witnessing workshop for Australia and Oceania this Saturday. So lecture content is same contents, but we will gather together and discuss and also share our message or witnessing plan together. That's why if someone could not join last time, we can join together this Saturday and we can discuss how to develop and prepare for the witnessing. So witnessing is actually not just an activity. Witnessing is that how we can create the spiritual world or environment, how we can prepare the internal or Chonson condition. If because of Chonson and because of unity, if we could prepare the environment or spiritual world, then heaven will send the people. Instead of so many people, if even how we can save or guide one person and two person, how much we can put our sincere heart or sincere devotion, how much we can use our time for our heavenly parents and true parents and for those spiritual children. Those heart is really important and precious. That's why this Saturday, this workshop become the important moment. So please join and let's put our heavenly heart and filial heart to our heavenly parents and true parents. So let's do our best. So today, let's begin the day of Hoon Dok. So yesterday it was Anshil. So Reverend Seti shared the speech of Prime Minister of Samoa, right? So did you listen well? Thank you, Reverend Seti. So now we could recognize now current situation. Already three parents gave the message 15 years ago or 20 years ago to our Pacific. If we don't do anything about all island nations, what's happened in the future? The bigger nation come and they will dominate everything. This message was already given by three parents 15 or 20 years ago. So if each nation could not recognize the time of heavenly time and also the situation and just follow or just individually deal with bigger nation, then finally those small nations could not anything and follow to the bigger nation's intention. That's why how we can really revive or remind again or share those messages again, centering on our heavenly parents and centering on one vision. We have to gather together and you have to create the way. That's why we have to plan. In each nation, there is Ambassador for Peace of UPF and the several connection organization. So really we have to discuss how we can deal, how we can prepare, how we really fulfill our heaven's will and have heaven's wish. So this time in the All Things Day, in the event in Korea, our Dr. Yoon share about Cambodia Prime Minister Hun Sen. This time also he went to Africa and visited to many top leaders. And that time he shared one story. Now Cambodia Prime Minister Hun Sen, he said, UPF, now many individual people is joining as the ambassador for peace as the individual under the UPF. But he said, why don't you to register for the nation? Then Cambodia can be the first nation as the registered nation under UPF. So Prime Minister Hun Sen also suggesting those things. So there is our two parents' expectation toward UPF. UPF, the expectation to UPF is actually the position of able UN toward United Nations. That's why originally this one have to elevate until the national or world level. So if UPF can take a role as the able UN toward the world, then really those several problems we can find a solution. So in the region of Oceania, especially, we could see many challenging or many difficulty. That's why we really concern and really prepare how we can protect and how we can unite and develop. So yesterday, Reverend said his message and those sharing of video, it is really important because currently those situations is happening in region of Oceania. So let's really concern and let's find a way together to our heavenly parents and true parents. So thank you. So today we will lead the global unity through true parents. Mother now talking about the Europe and also Christian nation and the heaven's wish and also each nation's role. So among each Christian nation or European nation, Mother also mentioning that the blessed families, please fulfill your mission. During 2000 years time after our Jesus Christ, the cross, continuously Christianity is looking forward and invested for God's will and to waiting. They are waiting for welcoming the second advent, the Messiah, and the created the preparation and the foundation. So what was final goal? Or Christianity should have meet and welcome our second advent, the second Christ, our Messiah and true parents. So let's see the word. Please read, Dr. Josinta.
When you look at the Christian providence, at one point in history, Britain, the Eve nation, had expanded her territory overseas to the point that people said the sun never set on the British Empire. Britain spread Christianity all around the world.
Yes, so through God's providence, through Christianity, the British Empire really took the good role to spread to the world, spread the Christianity to the world. So when we see the history has a clear purpose and clear direction, and we could see those heaven's guidance in each area, each nation, and each region. So even those persons who spreading Christianity did not understand God's will or did not catch the God's will clearly, but this all history continuously going on, centering on God's providence. So we could recognize how God is working behind of those people. Please read.
On the cross, Jesus died, saying that he would return. Christians believe that they can receive salvation through Jesus' death on the cross. God is omnipotent. He is an absolute being. Would he have suffered for 4,000 years in order to send his only begotten Son to the cross as a means of salvation? Mary did not understand God's will in giving life to Jesus. She did not understand why Jesus had to come to earth.
So this is sad things if people could not understand the real heart of Jesus or real wish of heavenly parents or God. Even people is talking, I will believe God, but how much do they understand the heart of God? Do they understand about God's providence? So now when we see the cross, people is talking, cross is the symbol of salvation. But when we see the original purpose or point of view, actually the cross is the symbol of sadness. That's why among those situations, how much we can realize and seek the heart of Jesus and also understand the heaven's heart. When we really recognize the real heart, then we can comfort him and we can also comfort Jesus, comfort our heavenly parents. Please read.
After the Bible was translated into English, the general population of Britain was able to read it. The Bible contains many metaphors and symbols. One important message in the Bible is that Jesus said that he would return and hold the marriage supper of the Lamb. In the providential history through the new true parents, we must complete the past duties that Britain left unfulfilled.
Yes, Mother said one important message in the Bible is that Jesus said that he would return and hold the marriage supper of the Lamb. So this actually clearly mentioned in the Bible, and everyone knows this word, but people doesn't think that Jesus should have get married. That's why even people listen, people read this message, but it's not easy to catch this main point. when Jesus come again and Jesus have to have the marriage supper of the Lamb, have to meet the only begotten daughter, if there is those message. But it's very difficult and not easy to realize this message. That's why now time has come how we can share and really testify those message and have to fulfill this God's will. Please read.
I heard that Malta was under British rule for 180 years. It has not been very long since you were liberated from Britain. Do you think things are better now that you are free? Most of the people in this country are Catholics. Do you believe that you will go to heaven as long as you believe in Catholicism? There are many religions, but what can we do to cross over the walls of religion, race, and culture? God's word contains the answers to all these questions. A new holy seed was sown in this country through the marriage blessing. It is now your mission to multiply it and reap the fruits of it.
Yes, this message was given by Yamada during Yamada's world speaking tour in 2006. That time she visited also Europe, and this message was given in Malta. So have you been to Malta in Europe? So there is also those nations in Europe. And Mother said, there are many religions, but what can we do to cross over the walls of religion, race, and culture? God's word contains the answers to all these questions. A new holy seed was sown in this country through the marriage blessing. It is now your mission to multiply it and reap the fruits of it. How we can expand, fulfill God's will, expand the blessing, and also multiply. So Mother is continuously sharing those messages to us. Please read.
You are truly happy people. You attend God, you attend true parents, and you should have received the marriage blessing. You should not stop there, however. From now on, you need to multiply. All of humanity are wild olive trees, and we who have been blessed are the true olive trees. We need to show the world the value of the true olive tree. In so doing, we need to bring all people of the world to desire to become true olive trees as well. You need to be proud of true parents and let others know about them.
Yes, so we receive the blessing, which God's wish and hope. But the receiving blessing is not the end. After receiving blessing, we have to bring this blessing and to share to the people and multiply. So in order to do that, what we should do, Mother said, we need to show the world the value of the true olive tree. In so doing, we need to bring all people of the world to desire to become true olive trees as well. So this really message is new, not new perspective, but very important things. We have to guide them, which they want to receive blessing. So of course, we try to give the blessing, but in the same time, if they don't want to receive blessing, how they can receive blessing? It's not easy things, right? So how we can let them have that desire to become true olive tree as well. So these things we should do also, not only just one way, teaching whatever I want. We also guide them and then move their heart. This one we have to do together. So actually, this is the witnessing. So according to witnessing, the Father also mentioned some word. So I want to show one message. So this I will read. Father said, give the ideal through your words. Show the practice through your personality. And give love through your deep heart. So Mother is mentioning continuously to share your blessing, testify heavenly parents, testify through parents and through Mother. But how we can testify? How we can share the message? Just we will share the message by only by word externally, or together with heart, together with personality, together with word. This attitude is important. So also Father said, people is the spiritual being. Even whatever we say, but if there is no heart, there is no truth there, people could feel, people doesn't feel anything. That's why when we meet the people, when we do the activity or when we do any kind of things, how much we can show through our word, through our personality, and through our deep heart. So when we do anything, we have to remind again, we have to think this point, and through ourselves. If people say, I cannot understand so much about unification movement, I cannot understand the blessing value so much, but when I see your family, when I see yourself, I can say that you are special, you are great, I can believe you. That's why I will receive blessing. If people can say, if I can be like this, then this is the real way to share the God and share our true parents' blessing to the people. So through our mother's message, not only just the external activity, we have to think, we have to change ourselves, and we have to really show our sincerity behalf of our heavenly parents and true parents. So next, let's read the word of Cheonsangyeon. In the word of Cheonsangyeon, also Father is mentioning about God's ideal and God's purpose. God created Adam and Eve, and God wanted to emerge on this earth through the body of Adam and Eve, and to take responsible all the people and all history and all universe directly, and to live together with happily. This is the God's ideal creation and God's purpose of creation. So let's read the word. Please read.
God is incorporeal and he has no visible form. In order to manifest himself, he needs to assume a form. That is why, in order to govern humankind and all things that have form, God needs to manifest himself in the form of Adam and Eve. Adam, Eve, and God were to be one in the flesh, and God was to be the mind of Adam and Eve.
Yes, when Adam and Eve united totally as one, and also united together with God, then God become the mind itself of Adam and Eve. So there is this purpose of creation in this point. Please read.
Had God and Adam become one, and had God and Eve become one, then once Adam and Eve became husband and wife, their marriage would have been one with God internally and externally. When, by loving each other, Adam and Eve gave birth to children, those children would have been connected to God's direct lineage. Love would have bound them together. The reason God created this world is because he wanted to experience such love. God created in order to love.
Yes, thank you. So God and Adam and Eve, and also the children, everyone will be connected by love and by true love. So when Adam and Eve and God, when they totally united, then among this unity, then these children will come down. That's why children will receive the God's lineage and also God's blessing. That's why dearly Father is mentioning how much this moment, the first night, the moment to unite between Adam and Eve or husband and wife, that moment, how much very important. And this is, we can say, this is kind of the main purpose of the God's creation. The moment Adam and Eve unite together, then God can come down, all the God's lineage will be multiplying from that moment. So most important moment, there was God's will there, but those moments there was taken away by Satan because of human fall. That's why this fighting or gain back this holiness, this moment, this is also the current fighting in the society, how we can bring back this holiness in our blessing. That's why when we receive blessing, this is not easy things to receive blessing. Even spiritual world or physically, externally, many persecution, many challenging is coming. Sharing blessing, receiving blessing, because this is most important God's will and the most target of Satan. That's why receiving blessing, change the lineage, or relationship between husband and wife, or unity between husband and wife, this moment was the most difficult, but most also precious moment. Then God can come down, and when we unite together, the God's lineage will be expanded through our children. So always this one moment, how we can create, how we can really fulfill, how we can welcome our heavenly parents to our family. So continuously really emphasizing, and really we have to reflect this point. Okay, please read.
Adam and Eve are God's body as well as God's object partners of love. You cannot love by yourself. Even the absolute being cannot experience love alone. Therefore, God's purpose in creating the world was to prepare the realm of his beloved object partners. The world of creation is the museum of love and the garden of love.
Yes, thank you very much. The principle of subject and object partner. So God created on this earth in order to love others. So the world of creation is the museum of love and the garden of love. God have a beautiful idea on this earth, centering on true love. So really we could see the beautiful, and we can feel God's love through the world and also the nature. Okay, please read.
What good would it be for the incorporeal God to remain apart from his creation? For God to remain invisible of no use to him. To be the parent of human beings, God should be able to feel with the body as human beings do. For the purpose of assuming a body, it was necessary for God to create Adam and Eve as beings of dual structure of mind and body. Why was this? In order to be the same as the incorporeal God, they had to be able to achieve mind and body unity during the course of their life on earth, before departing for the other world.
Yes, Father said, why was this? In order to be the same as the incorporeal God, they had to be able to achieve mind and body unity during the course of their life on earth before departing for the other world. So the process or moment of unity between Adam and Eve and God before going to the spiritual world, this moment was essential. So how really can have a unity on this earth? So our true Father and true Mother and also God. And of course, this ourselves, our husband and wife, and our God. How we can really create unity before going to the spiritual world. This is very important. So this the physical world is preparation time period to fulfill and develop our four kind of love, our children's love, brother and sisters love, husband and wife love, and the parental love. During our lifetime, we have to think how much our love developed already. We can reach already the perfection or not yet. So through each moment, how we can create and really have to unite with God and also our heavenly parents. So please read, this is the last slide.
Without having done so, when they appeared in the spirit world, they would not be able to unite with God as his image. God created Adam and Eve with dual structures so that they could attain parenthood and substantial kingship in the physical world, and then become one with God, the incorporeal parent, and manifest substantial kingship in the eternal heavenly world. In short, God created Adam and Eve so that through them he could take physical form.
Yes, thank you very much. So Father is talking about the purpose of God's creation. So God created Adam and Eve, and their body, God tried to use their body to appear on this earth. Even in the spiritual world, God appear through Adam and Eve's body. So that meaning is God will appear through our true Father and true Mother's body. So that's why how much we can learn and how to understand more our true parents, then we can understand God more deeply and more widely. So God is also the Adam's substantial being, and also Eve also the God's substantial being. That's why until now, in our unification movement, we easy to think centering on our true Father. True Father is representative God and also Messiah. But in the same time, Mother herself also the God's substantial being. So when we see true parents, have to see directly without any kind of condition. When we see our true Father, when we see true Mother, when we learn from true Mother, when we learn from true Mother, and we have to learn our God's original ideal through our true parents. So true mothers and true parents' message is clear. Please testify our heavenly parents. Please understand our heavenly parents and true parents, and let's create the blessed family on this earth. So now God is coming down directly and working together through our true parents, through the spiritual world. That's why when we learn and realize the heart of God throughout the history, we can go forward, we can share more, we can guide more. So today we share the message about True Mother toward our Christianity or European brothers and sisters in the nation, and also we learn our God's purpose and God's appearance. So each single day is the precious time. Time is really flying fast already. Now June, right? How we can spend the time, and each moment, how much we are sharing and offering God's side, or how about our life is more close to Satan's side. Always we reflect ourselves, connect with our heavenly parents and true parents, and let's go forward. So today is a beautiful day. Today is also a beautiful month. Let's put our Chonsong in heart and spend the great time. Thank you much once again. 감사합니다.
감사합니다. Thank you, Reverend Yutaka, for sharing with us and helping us to really see more clearly God's providence and God's words. When I was listening and understanding the message you're sharing today, it just reinforced to me again that we are becoming true parents, that we are true parents. So that's because that first word, we who are blessed are the true olive tree, and the true olive tree is our true parents, and obviously we need to multiply, because we can't just the purpose of parents is really to have children. And then that statement, ideal through words, I practice through personality, love through deep heart. And when I was reflecting on that, I mean, the ideal through words, the words are to help us gain the understanding, help us see and formulate the plan, and to go the pathway to become true parents. So the words guide us and show us how to become true parents. And then practice through personality. Well, we have to change our personality, truly become people of honesty, integrity, authenticity, people that serve others. Our personality needs to become that of true parents. And then when I thought about the deep heart, that sincerity, that empathy, that service that embraces others, that deep heart of true parents, that the ideal, all of it seems to be that we are, because of the blessing, potentially true parents, and we're probably more like true parents than we think, even though we spend too much time concerned about problems instead of concerning ourselves about what is truly great about each other. And so they're just reflected again and again. We are true parents. I remember when I first joined, and I would make dates in the future of I'm going to be perfect on this date, or I'm going to be perfect on this particular date. So, but as I got older, I realized in my life of faith that it's the wish is to have it happen instantaneously, like God at the very beginning, but because of the fall, thousands of years have passed because we make mistakes that cause the providence to be extended and extended. And so learning that and acknowledging that we are true parents, Father and Mother said, we who are blessed are the true olive tree. There were times when we were saying that we were mini moons, that we, Father can't go everywhere, so we go as Father, but not just as Father, but also go as Mother, and not just go as them, but really as them, and not like a representative, but a substantial form. And so the substantializing of Chongyalguk is us being true parents. Stand up proudly and say, oh, we are God's son and daughter. We have received the blessing. We have joined the family of God, and that's why we need to have, I believe, more empathy to the fact that we are that true parents. So that was a realization I was having and reflecting about, and everything relates around the fact that we have the blessing, and therefore we have the authority of true parents. So thank you, and open it up to others to share. Yes, Candice, go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. I just was reflecting on one of my first experiences I ever had with God, basically, and it's just really, I feel it's not even a personality thing. It's really about feeling humble to God and feeling God's grace. It's really about the only way we can feel God's presence. And we have to open our heart to feeling his presence or her presence all around us and within us, and being humble. And it's such a hard thing to be humble when you're perfect in every way, that is. I mean, just going for the song. But yeah, so joy is part of feeling God's presence, and I think we need to give joy to people and see the good in them, to bring out the love within them. And I think that's our biggest thing, and how to do that, and also just to mention about Saturday, we are having that Women's Federation event down here in Victoria. So we are going to be witnessing, is what I'm trying to say. If you're having the witnessing workshop, we will be doing it, just to let you know that. And yeah, so joy is what we've got to try and bring. And joy also brings money, apparently. Mother has said, if you create joy and witness, you will get rich. She has said that, so let's create some joy and witness. That's what I want to say. Yeah.
Thank you, Candice. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, morning, everyone. I thought the presentation yesterday was one of the most important things that we've got to talk about in this region, and I think it's probably more urgent than the Pacific Christian Leadership Conferences and We formed that body, and I think formally someone needs to quickly, seriously look at forming a body to unite these island nations. And, you know, I found it a little bit frustrating because, please don't take this personally, anyone, but 10 or 15 minutes of introduction, you know, it could have been formulated a lot better. We need to talk about it a lot more. And we only touched on some of the very important points that really need to be discussed here quickly, seriously. This is probably the most important thing happening in our region at the moment. So I think we really need to do something to get on top of this. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Yes, Mr. Rai, and then Nara after that.
Yeah, and about we are blessed, and we can be to parent this issue. And 2 weeks ago, we had a peace festival. Then Christian leader Steve and Pakistan's Christian member came to you know, our church. We had a service together. Then 2 service, 1 service done by us. Then Daniel gave a message. He said the whole Bible, just he said first 4 pages, God creations. God made Adam and Eve and gave a blessing. This area, he gave a message, and he's very good at to give message. And the second service is, you know, they MC, Steve as MC, then again, Daniel gave a message of mother's role, and also incredible good message. But after that, maybe Daniel talked to Steve and about divine principle. I think then I heard Steve said he never heard this kind of story, and so I think Christian people are so much. Jesus died on the cross, then he resurrected. It is incredible, shocking, and also I think a moving story, and also I'll come back again. So many Christian people, it's a disciple, were incredible lifted up, lifted their spirit. Jesus died, he killed, but resurrected within 3 days. They appeared to them, then I'll come back to you. And so I think many of the Christian people are keep a single life. They don't talk about so much family, wife, or children. Like us, you know, we saw the Greg's family, the 3 the grandchildren are happy, and I think they could not experience, I think ignore that life. But so really, you know, it's this point, God creation and blessing and happy life, and God created that way, and also 3 generations we live together on us, and yeah, that's why I really, it's thanks to Daniel. It's incredible, you know, get message. But if we don't have a good relationship with them, they don't listen. But because I think we have good relationship, trust, that's why they had a listen this story. And, anyway, okay, we had this kind of 2 weeks ago. We thanks to Daniel to give a good message. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. Go ahead, Nara.
Good morning, everyone. Yeah, I I agree with what Chris said. It's really what Kenji and I and Keiko has been talking about in the last few days, and what we've been reading in our Hoon Dok Hae. We've just finished the speech that Father gave in 2012, the Pacific Rim Era 2, the second time he gave that speech. It's really a framework and guideline for us to be working on the political arena now. And, you know, he's telling us for us to actually take responsibility. And it even talked about the 7 nations forming, becoming a union for the salvation or to save humanity, the whole world, based on this 7 nations in our region. If you have time to read that, and if we could just, you know, look at that speech, and it'll give us the guideline how to save the world, really. And I think that's our guideline, that's our framework. And I really pray that our second gen can take more interest in social policy, in the social policy area, because changes comes through policy. What government do is making policies, right? But the policies are made by, you know, people they employ. The politicians only speak based on the government's policies, but actually it's the policy makers. I know our second gen have been more interested in business studies, and that's important too, because Father said the economy is the foundation for witnessing, for restoration. So maybe it is now the time to encourage our second gen to get involved in policy making and becoming politicians. So the 7 nations are Japan, Taiwan, Indonesia, Philippines, Solomon Islands, Australia, and New Zealand. Is that 7 nations? Yeah, so it's quite relevant what we've been reading. Yeah, so anyway, we really need to create that, what do you call, Peace Corps. I don't know, organization. We have to be leading the politicians now. We can't rely on the politicians, the current politicians now. You know, we have to even take interest in diplomatic work, peace talk for politicians. Yeah. Anyway, that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Na. Go ahead, Dr. Jacinta.
Good morning, everyone. Yeah, I guess I was quite taken by one phrase in today's reading, which was, where have I got it? I wrote it down somewhere. Complete the duties that Britain left unfulfilled. And it has a bit of relevance to our region because our region was largely missionized by Britain, especially the London Missionary Society, also France as well, through the Maris brothers. Yeah, I think it would be helpful for us maybe to look at the history of the London Missionary Society. And my understanding of Christianity when it spread around the world is that it ignored the value of the spirit world, or tried to discourage the native people from pursuing their you know, ancestor worship or that sort of thing. So I think that was one mistake that you know, Britain and other countries made when they spread Christianity. And I can remember when we were in Samoa, one idea which really captivated the minds of the Samoan people was around the time in the year 2000. We were promoting very much the idea of having a second house at the United Nations, which was to be a body of religious leaders who had like an interfaith sort of perspective. And I think this is something that we could try to do a little bit more in the island nations. There are, like in Samoa, there's a National Council of Churches. But if there can be a little bit more somehow working together of religious leaders and political leaders, because in the end, what is the fundamental difference between our island nations and some of the so-called big nations which are coming in is how much they understand about God, about Heavenly Parent. And if they have a God-denying ideology, then that's the key point. So I think we need to, I don't know, I get it that we need to work with the politicians, but we can't ignore the role of Christianity in our region. We need to bring those people together, and we need to, improve their understanding, have a correct understanding of Heavenly Parent and the true parents, and also the meaning and value of the blessing.
Yes, yeah, thank you, Jacinta. Thank you. And last person, go ahead, Doug. Oh, we got two more. Then Margaret after that. Okay.
Yeah, I think we have a lot to offer to Christianity to understand from the biblical perspective that can really inspire them. So starting with what the three great blessings, we highlight that more than most Christians, especially on the family level, but also the three temptations too. They're coming at us in the same way. And because we're in the Third World War, this is the restoration of all things. So understanding the three great blessings, the three world wars, and the three temptations of Jesus, I will give you the whole world. That's a great message for the island Christian and political leaders to be able to use those three understandings to stand up and preserve their country and their people, I think. Anyway, it needs work, but I wanted to say that. So thank you.
Thank you, Douglas. And go ahead, Margaret.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Just a bit of a report. We have 16 governors because we have 16 states. And we called the chairman of the Governors Association to want to present to them. And we were told to write the letter to the chairman, and then the chairman will send it to the secretary, one of the governors. So this process has been going on. And we learned just this weekend from the chairman of the Association of the Governors that so many agencies are vying to present, and NGOs to present to the Governors Association. And one of them happened to be the minister of the government, who is my nephew. And he pushed and pushed to get in to do a presentation, and then he didn't show up because he got busy with other things. So the chairman of the association mentioned to me that this minister asked, who are the other people who are coming, vying to come to the meeting? He said, it's Tim and Margaret. And he said, what are they talking about? What are they going to talk about? And the chairman says, more important thing than what you're saying. And because Tim wrote a very good letter explaining the role of UPF and the family and how Palawan society can be sustainable if the family is organized. And even the chairman of the association was moved by it. It so happened to be my cousin. And we had blessed him in Guam already. So I guess what I'm saying, I hear nga appealing to Father's words. And I think if in New Zealand, you have many island nations represented in New Zealand, in Mangadi, if you can start really identifying key people that can make a difference in the island nations, at least in the South Pacific, that would be a start. I mean, my concept, because we're very far from Australia and finances are issues, we cannot wait for top-down direction. We have to take responsibility of what can be done at this time. So if you feel an inspiration to reach out to someone, go for it. Um, so we're still on the I call the secretary, one of the governors, who happens to be Tamir Mangsao's sister, is a governor and secretary of the association. So it's possible that we may get on their program this early June. So we intend to ask them to be partners with UPF, meaning they organize a place and gather married people for us to come and educate. So we need to be a little bit more intentional and aggressive at this time, I think. We cannot just wait for mother to solve all these things, I feel. Thank you.
Thank you, Margaret. Thank you. Very good concrete plans. It's time for us now to offer our unison prayer. So I'll just share the screen and let's pray together. Adieu, adieu, adieu. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day and see you all again.
Have a good day.
Yeah.